Wowza. LSU shit. LSU grabbed their first shutout since 2018 over southeastern Louisiana. They do it tonight over New Mexico, a team that I would say would be far better pedigree than Southern, who we just played and allowed 17 points to, or southeastern Louisiana, who we shut out back in 2018. But LSU, no shutouts in the 2019 season, 2020 season, 2021. LSU defense gets back to doing what it does best, which is kicking ass, taking absolute names from first, second to last. And then the offense, the offense first half was a little like we'd seen before. Some chunks of plays from the receivers, some good rhythm plays, but nothing really coming of it. And then just some breakdowns in the offensive line, some drives that should have ended in touchdowns that end in field goals or no points at all. Just listless offensively in that first half. Only 17 points on the board, but get it going in that second half. 633 yards on offense for LSU. This is the first 600-yard game since 2019 when we did it like what, 10 times or something like that. I would assume maybe even more with Joe Burrow and that offense. Yeah, the first 600-yard game since 2019, 219 yards on the ground, 4 rushing touchdowns, and then we finally got the passing touchdown at the end where Garrett Nussmeier, coming in late in the game for Jaden Daniels, connects with Brian Thomas Jr. for a 57-yard screen pass where Brian Thomas Jr. just making people miss, turns on the afterburners, is just gone. This is what happens when you give LSU receivers the football. But really, the story of this game, all goes back to the beginning here. LSU started out this game, and they knew they had to get Jack Bech in a rhythm. They knew they had to get Jack Bech involved. Jack Bech opens the game, getting the ball a few times. Malik Neighbors gets the ball, makes some plays. But really they made a concerted effort to get Jack involved. 7 targets, 6 catches, 43 yards. But the craziest thing with Bech is that let me rep this shirt right here. Bech from Louisiana with his number 80 on the back of it, with number 80 Bech on the back. Very cool shirt. Definitely go order that through his social media. But Jack Bech, 6 catches, 43 yards. At least getting in a rhythm, looking good doing it as well. I think 37 of those 43 yards were after the catch as well. But that punt return, 76-yard punt return where he's making guys miss immediately. Gets the ball, makes 2 guys miss, almost run into each other, making another guy miss, bends it around, and he's just gone. Down the sidelines, a tiptoe dance down the sidelines as well. And at some point, Colby Fields absolutely destroys this dude. And, it could have been a lot more violent, a lot worse. But it wasn't. And the flag was thrown, even though it had no consequence on the play. Really, the guy would not have caught Bech on that play. He would have not been able to get Bech to the ground. Sullies what would have been the play of the game, a play the team was kind of needing a spark right there. 76-yard punt return touchdown by Jack Bech, called back for the flag away from the play. Blindside hit by Colby Fields. It's hard to stomach because that would have been beautiful. And it looks like LSU has found punt returner 1, don't you think? It feels like Jack Bech is that punt returner 1. And, I mean, anyone wondering whether he could be a punt returner or show off his skills, after he gets the ball in his hands, well, look what he just did. That looked effortless. that looked like he was barely even going, and he was just flying past everybody. And it's like I know he has another gear and another gear after that too. So it looks like Jack Besh is going to be, punt returner one as well. And it looks like, this is why you give him the ball early in the game. It got our offense going, and we were able to punch it in early. We weren't able to score, really any first half touchdowns in the games against, or first quarter touchdowns, even in that Mississippi State or Florida State game. The touchdowns, I believe, just that one came late against Mississippi State, courtesy of DeRay Jenkins. But we were able to get our offense going. Daniels, I mean, 279 passing yards, 24 of 29, 37 yards on the ground. Took a really nasty hit at the end of the game that I don't know if it's a concussion or what, but his head goes whipping against the field. Definitely a vicious hit. Has to come out of the game. I don't know how much longer he was going to stay in the game anyway, but he has to come out of the game as well. And 24 to 29, he was efficient with the ball. But he still missed some passes. He still missed some openings. He picked the wrong reads on a few of those completions. They were still being way too conservative, way too safe, and so was he with his route choice. This is the guy I'm going to go to. This is the target I'm going to throw it at. There's a lot of times he would be, missing the kill shot for, a 5-yard dump off just because he does not want to make a mistake. And therefore you got 0 passing touchdowns as well as 0 interceptions because he's not willing to make a mistake or take a chance. And that lack of trust in the receivers, it will come back to bite us. We didn't once again, I don't feel like we saw the anywhere near close to the potential of this passing game. We saw the receivers getting in a rhythm. Yes. We saw the receivers getting the ball. Yes. We saw the receivers getting involved. Yes. But you look at that Chris Hilton bomb. If Jaden Daniels can just lead Chris Hilton just a little bit with the ball, if you just can lead him with the ball, that goes from a 51-yard catch where Chris Hilton has to like almost fall down to catch the ball to a breakaway 80-plus yard touchdown, just like John Trey Kirkland was able to lead him with the ball. That's the thing is John Trey Kirkland threw a better deep pass on there to Chris Hilton than Jaden Daniels right there. I hate to say that because Daniels shows improvement in other places here tonight, but it's too safe, it's too pedestrian, and this receiving core really deserved better. This receiving core need better. This would have been great to have Kayshawn out there tonight. Obviously, the new father, being with the mom and his new baby boy. Wish him all the best. And he looks like he is really almost an immediate change in Kayshawn. Like he was like said, "quote This is exactly you were exactly what I needed, little man," or something like that on his social media tweet. And so it's obvious it's going to help Kayshawn in his life going forward. It would have been great to see him against this New Mexico defense tonight because he would have toasted them. I feel like there were really some openings for the deep shot, the deep ball that we just weren't calling, weren't taking. I don't know. There were some chances late in the game to get a lot of the receivers some touchdowns against that worn out New Mexico defense with Garrett Nussmeier on the field, but we opted for some more conservative play calling to get Noah Kane, almost close to 100 yards on the ground, stuff like that. But a little too pedestrian for me on offense, even though, hey, we put up 633 yards on offense. This is the thing is this is an LSU team that have barely reached their level, not even close. This is an LSU team that have shown a ton of deficiency. This is an LSU team that have, some injury problems as we've seen with this game with Armani Goodwin having to leave and with maybe Jaden Daniels having a concussion here. We've seen this team have an inability on offense, an ineptitude on offense. We've seen this team be susceptible on defense when it comes to third down with the Florida State game. But when it comes to looking at the finer details of what this team could become in the future, you got to be excited when the team didn't really look. The team looked kind of pedestrian on offense, and we effortlessly put up 633 yards. Okay, 219 on the ground, and only 37 from Jaden Daniels for the first game this season. I believe Jaden Daniels wasn't the leading rusher or something like that. I have to believe that's correct. We got a comment here from the Piccolo Rocks. I know who this is. I swear this is Jamer. I swear this is Jamer, right? Go Tigers, Jamer. What's up? If it's not Jamer, the Piccolo Rocks, I swear that's Jamer. But yeah, welcome, Jamer, if that's you. I hope it's you. Uh, Definitely want to talk to you. You're awesome. Love talking to Jamer. She's a good friend of ours. We've been talking to her for a few years now. It's been since 2020, since the early days of the pandemic, since before the pandemic, since that 2019 season when it seemed like everyone kind of became acquainted with our what we're doing here at LSUOdyssey.com. But not only that, just me as a person, and then making friends within the LSU world because of LSU football, and you know talking about things apart from LSU football as well, and that's what you gotta love as well. That's why this is a fantastic community. That's why we come together here. That's what we do here. A tough work week, right? A tough work week. And so, what was better? Okay, what was better than after a tough work week? You know, I have a newborn baby. Okay, I know it's been exhausting. Okay, tough work week as well. Just some weird uncertainty and stuff. Just some weird vibes. Just want to get home and get away from that crap, right? Escape into the wonders of LSU football. Well, they provided that escape by shutting out New Mexico 38 to nothing. First shutout since 2018 versus Southeastern Louisiana. Put up 633 yards of offense. Armani Goodwin rushed for 2 touchdowns. That's his second multiple score game of the season. Noah Kane puts up 2 more touchdowns. He's got 4 on the season as well. You got Jack Besh involved, almost taking that punt return to the house. I wish that stupid flag had not been called. If it had been 2011, that flag isn't thrown. If it had been 2015, that flag isn't thrown. If it had been 2022 and any other referee, that flag might not be thrown. God, how dare you take away that punt return touchdown from Jack? That is just such a play that hurts to see taken. But you had an LSU defense that only gave up 88 yards, 47 passing, 41 rushing, 2.7 per play. They were averaging 2.7 per play. We were stuffing them up the gut all game long. I saw Makai Wingo on a bunch of these plays. I saw Jacobian Guillory causing havoc, making some plays. I saw West Weeks. He had 2 tackles for loss, led the team in tackles for loss, had his first sack there at the end of the game. He was an animal, West Weeks, tonight, and it wasn't just 2 separate tackles for loss. One of them was only for a half, and so he was everywhere tonight. Ali Gay had his first sack of the season. It was great to see him get 1.5 tackles for loss. He was kind of more on the periphery, a few pressures. I think it was 3 or 4 pressures. Jarek Bernard Converse made a nice, brutal, brilliant tackle early in the game, showing his pedigree. Jaquelin Roy made a few plays up the gut. Savion Jones is now LSU's leading sacker with 2.5 sacks. When he came in and grabbed his sack, just 1 sack, just 2 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. He wasn't involved much tonight, but, very interesting to me. Harold Perkins leads the team in tackles for yet another game in his debut season. 8 total tonight. Savion Jones, Wes Weeks, Greg Brooks Jr., and Ali Gay all register the sack. I mean, you know, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. LSU. Oh, wait 1 second. I got a tweet here. I got a tweet from let's see here. Something about LSU football. Let's see. Oh, it's who Brian Kelly gave the game ball to. Brian Kelly says the game ball belongs to Jarek Bernard Converse. He stepped up this week and showed what it means to do whatever it takes for your team. I guess that would mean him switching from cornerback to safety. We just talked about Jarek Bernard Converse, looking awesome, making some plays. I think it was a tight end too that he made. He put into the ground on that play. For me, I might be stepping out of line to say this right after Brian Kelly makes his pick on who the game ball should go to. But Jarek Bernard Converse moving from corner to safety, looking really damn good doing it. We get a shutout doing it. That's fantastic as well. For me tonight, and I know Harold Perkins was all over the place, just absolutely patrolling, managing, and destroying middle of the field. Harold Perkins was a fantastic line of scrimmage controller tonight. And I don't think it's a stretch to say that he is going to be an all-SEC freshman selection. And there's Armani Goodman with another pick, another awesome run. And he should definitely be an All-American, freshman All-American pick, Harold Perkins. I mean, look at what he's doing. And you got to at least, you're going to have Emory Jones and Will Campbell both up there because tonight, once again, they were awesome in the protection. But for me, I'm trying not to go on too many places because my head just want to go to so many areas right here. This was a fun game to watch tonight. At times there could have been a lot more LSU could have done as well. They could have looked a lot better in that first half. There was some really rough moments in that first half, but for me, the defensive MVP has to be Greg Brooks Jr. I mean, I don't know about you, but Greg Brooks Jr. was everywhere tonight, all over the place tonight. He had a sack. That was just an unbelievable play. Go on my Twitter at Lon Phillips to watch that play, courtesy of SEC Network. That was an unbelievable play. Yes, he needs to wrap up more because he could have had a few more of these type of plays this season. And the thing is with Greg Brooks Jr., when you watch him on the film, especially when you look back, but I've noticed this when I've been watching it, and I just tallied this anyway, he has 6 tackle for loss assists. I guess I'm creating statistical categories here. But yes, tackle for loss assists where he's blown up the play or he's sent the ball carrier completely horizontal and set it up for someone else to make that play, to get the credit for that play directly. I'm not counting just any time he made, a move toward the ball. I'm counting direct times where he affected it and caused a tackle for loss. 7 different times. 7 different times he's done that. You saw him do that, I think, 3 times it was last week just for supplying Jay Ward with tackles for loss. So you've got him spilling guys wide so Mekhi Garner can just eat their face tonight. You got him flying around like an absolute bullet. You got him just barely not able to hang on to a pick 6. Greg Brooks Jr. should have had a pick 6 tonight. Slaps that ball to himself, and he's almost gone. He's almost gone. Greg Brooks Jr. is almost gone to the house, but he can't hang on. He can't hang on. He was so devastated. That's the thing about tonight. The Jack Besh punt return touchdown, called back for some flukish, stupid penalty, and then the Greg Brooks Jr. pick 6, where he had that in his hands. He had that in his hands. those are two touchdowns wiped right off the board for an LSU game where 38 to nothing. It doesn't flatter as much as it could. This team absolutely dominated New Mexico. Absolutely dominated this squad. 2 first downs all game. 2 first downs all game from New Mexico. 1 of 10 on 3rd down. It would have been a crime, a felony, had Matt House's defense allowed a touchdown at the end there. It would have been a crime. Someone would have been taken to jail for doing that. They had to get a shutout against this offense tonight that we were absolutely bottling, controlling, and destroying. Miles Kendrick had nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. This is a team that was averaging only 120 yards of passing offense a game before coming in against LSU. So we should have bottled them up and wiped them out and ate their face, because look at what we can do against the ground. We are just absolutely controlling the line of scrimmage with our rushing defense right now. Our rushing defense is looking damn saucy. I mean, Mekhi Wingo, anyone worrying about the loss of Mason Smith, and as much as it is a big loss to not have Mason Smith out there, not even a question. But when you have someone like Mekhi Wingo, who was an all-SEC freshman selection last year at Missouri, had a pick six from like 36 yards out. This is how athletic this young man is. You saw that over the first 4 games. Mekhi Wingo making one big play after another in one game after another. Mekhi Wingo, he's going to be understated, and that's what every great DT does, blowing up so many plays where he is the anchor that they are trying to go after and disturb, and he will not break. And he busts these plays, and he's athletic enough to even pressure the quarterback side to side, as we saw a week ago against Mississippi State. So it sucked to lose Mason Smith. When you got these guys who are coming into their own, who are already proven, Mekhi Wingo, name any offseason award of prestige at LSU, and he's won it. The Iron Tiger Award given out by Jake Flint. He's a member of the SWAT team, one of the key leaders on the SWAT team. So, this is someone who is very highly thought of by Brian Kelly. Obviously, a former player under Robert Steeples at DeSmet High. This is someone who knows how to do it. Aaron Donald is his favorite player, as you could see from our couple of interviews with Mekhi this offseason. We did 2 different interviews with him, one in print and one on his birthday. And he said he wanted to be the next Aaron Donald. He did not flinch. There may have been someone who would have scoffed at that comment or something. Look at what he's doing. Look at what he's doing. And guess what? I without saying it, without asking anyone, hey BJ Ojolari, is Mekhi Wingo the next Aaron Donald? One of these defensive linemen said to me, he's the next Aaron Donald. He's such a stuffer. And it was like, whoa. Interesting. Maybe they know of his love for Aaron Donald. They're just trying to flatter him. I'm not sure. But Mekhi Wingo's looking fantastic. You saw us post the Pro Football Focus grades of his performances up there this last week, or I think it was only just a few days ago. I think it was actually just yesterday. But 10th rated DT in the country. That ranking is going to go up after tonight. He was everywhere. We got some comments. AD, what's up, my man? This game is what you wanted to see. Absolute domination. Leave no doubt. A Diesel. That defense was an absolute festival of pain. I mean, if you want to say hate, freight train of hate pain and break that one out of the box, tonight is the night, my man. Freight train of hate pain. This defense, we're taking the boot and shoving it up their ass. The New Mexico Southwest flavor was absolutely drenched and overrun by the Cajun flavors of prowess that we saw from guys like Harold Perkins. I mean, I'm watching right now. Harold Perkins, he starts out as like a Mike, and then he just starts moving out towards the edge, and now he's suddenly an edge rusher. Like, I just love this defense from Matt House. Effortless. I mean, it's like, hey guys, you're gonna be a Mike, right, on this play, but then we're gonna have you basically just move out here to the edge and just rush the passer right here because that's what you're good at, and we're gonna use your speed to the best of its abilities. That's what I love to see is Matt House just interchanging positions, telling the guys, "Hey, relax. You're going to be right here on this play, but you're going to maybe actually be doing something that you like to do more than you would think." Oh my God, here's Jack Besh. I just saw the blind side block right there. Yes, that guy is somewhat involved in the play, but Jack has already bypassed him. Jack is already gone. You keep that flag in your pocket. You cannot take that moment away from number 80. You cannot take that moment away from that young man. That was sickening to me. How do you throw that flag? This is football. People are going to be hit. People are going to be blindside hit. Look at this. Unbelievable. One, two, three. Those two guys go falling into each other. That was nothing. He literally just moves his shoulder into the guy. That is a fucking block. That's just a fucking block. That just gets worse and worse and worse the more I see it. They just showed the slow motion replay again. I'm just like confounded. I'm just like, you just took away a 76-yard punt return touchdown from that young man for that? Get out of here. Get out of here. That gets that gets that gets worse and worse and worse. Sorry, back onto the subject. AD says Matt House has a bag of tricks like we haven't seen at DC. Man, I love it because it's like he's drilled it into these guys, but he's kept it so relaxed. And I don't know why or how, but they seem to be so on the same page. So on the same page. It's like, and they're really doing a lot of improvising out there. They're really doing a lot of like interchanging positions and just moving around, like giving really unorthodox looks. And it's almost like Matt House is telling them come up with their own for some of these plays, but this is basically what we want at the first of it. We want to give them this front three look. If you guys want to go out there however you want, this is what we're going to end up doing. I think maybe to keep it from being way too much for players to remember, that's might be how they're rolling with that. Is this is you guys are going to be set up. I don't know. I'm getting way too deep here on the lingo here, and I'm probably getting way too out of my depth here. But as someone who played the game, there was a lot of that, even from the smartest, most control freak coaches I played for, who had playbooks that were the size of a Dickens novel or something. There were definitely these sets with exotic looks where it was kind of up to the defensive personnel to kind of come up with their own original set, but hey, we're going to basically be moving into this when they post snap. Pre snap, we're a 3-4. Post snap, suddenly we're a 4-3 because you're going to be on the edge blitzing. That's basically what I'm talking about here, or 4-2-5 or whatever. Man, that hit on Neighbors looked so nasty. Didn't you think that hit on Neighbors where he's blocking? And this number 4, yeah, they're showing it right here again, but this number 4 guy, this was so damn dirty. He just keeps shoving Malik, even though he sees that Malik's leg is tied back there. Number 4 for New Mexico. I'm calling you out, you bastard. Look at this. Malik is literally down low. He sees Malik go sideways. He sees Malik go, ah, and he still keeps pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. And then kind of like leaves him and kind of stares at him like all like that is punk ass bullshit. That is punk ass bullshit. I had two older brothers. They showed me how to hit really hard very early. They knocked the shit out of me, and so did their older friends. But because of that, when it came my time to play football, I was loving to deal the pain, and I was a few years ahead of my peers because I was not afraid to get hit or to issue hits. But that type of shit, I'm never down with. I love big hits. I love nice blocks, those Hines Ward blocks that some might say were dirty. I'm like, those are football plays. Blaine Bishop, brain curdler hits. But that, when you see a guy whose leg is tucked under a 300-pound lineman and he's already screaming out in pain, and you start shoving on him to create an injury or to exacerbate an injury, that's bullshit, number 4 on New Mexico. I'm going to look up his name right now. New Mexico roster number 4. B. Wooden. No, that's a receiver. This is a defender. Let's see. This is a defender for the Lobos who's doing this to Malik. That was bullshit. I'm calling it out right now. I know maybe I'm getting a little too dramatic, a little too offended by that, but that to me, watching it right there, is some dirty ass shit. That's Bush League. Because he knew, it's not like he just kept blocking him because he didn't know that Malik's leg was rolled under, okay? Which can happen in football. You don't know what's going on, you're not aware. That is crap because he is looking straight at Malik. Malik is very blatantly in pain, very blatantly has his leg curled under an offensive lineman. And you just keep bending him and shoving him so that he's going like this, which would, in my mind, you're trying to create an injury here, number 4. That is just ugly, ugly crap. S. Lowry, safety. Shadrick Lowry. Shadrick Lowry. Shadrick Lowry, you are a dirty player. That was a cheap shot, and it's around like the 14-minute mark in the second quarter, right early in that first couple of plays in the second quarter where that happens to Malik. And I'm shocked that Malik even came back in that game. But he comes back in the game and leads the team receiving. 6 catches for 63 yards. Brian Thomas also had 6 catches, 43 yards. But, Brian Thomas Jr., 3 catches. Or, sorry, Malik did not lead the team in receiving. Take that back. Brian Thomas Jr. did with his 3 catches, 76 yards and 1 touchdown, most coming on that 57-yard screen where he just did the rest. It was brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff there. But once again, only 3 catches for Brian Thomas Jr. Let's see how many targets he had. Brian Thomas Jr. only had 4 targets. 59 yards after catch, 76 total. The 1 touchdown, of course, 1 dropped pass. He's the only player that had a drop pass. A lot of yards after catch. Malik had 44 from his 65. This is the thing. Y'all. I understand that LSU averaged 7.9 yards per play tonight, which is just gross, and 12.5 per completion. And 5.3 on the ground, I think, right? Or did I get that wrong? Yeah, 5.3 on the ground, yeah. But LSU, these chunk plays for 4 or 5 yards to these receivers, it's not going to do it. We're throwing our receivers into tackles way too early. Call these slants. Get them open over the middle. I don't know why our passing game with Jaden Daniels has an inability to pass guys into space, to pass guys open, pass guys into a you know not passing guys into a corner. It feels like our receivers are so up against it. They're basically swimming upstream just to make the catch and then to get the yards after. There's Jack Besh making a lot happen there. It takes five guys to get him to the ground. Jack Besh is just spinning off of guys, just bashing guys around. I just love it. I just love it. See, here's the thing: Jack Besh catches at 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, turns that into a 9-yard play when four guys were basically all over him to begin with. So, like, give the dude the damn ball, and not just 6 catches for 43 yards. That's a pittance. That's a pittance. That's the thing that I don't understand sometimes with this offense is when it's working for a certain player or a certain setup or a certain play call, just keep calling it. If you find a weakness and they cannot stop it, keep going until they stop it. That's football at its best. You bail them out when you're like, oh, but we got to get this guy a catch or we got to get this guy a play. What the hell is that? It's quite clear to me that if you have Kayshawn, Jack, and Malik on the field at the same time as your three receivers, matchup wise, that is extremely difficult to deal with. Dre Jenkins sometimes has plays that he takes a play off. Say what you want about Dre Jenkins' big play and clutch abilities and showing up for LSU. He had some great third down catches tonight again. But there are games where Dre would basically be almost anonymous and plays in drives where he is almost anonymous. So you have those guys, those three, your main guys. They're in there on every play, basically. I think that keeps the defense completely lost, completely confused. I don't understand these jumbo sets, um, these one receiver, 12 personnel types. I get that they were going to do that coming in. I knew they were going to do that coming in. But when you have these receivers on the field, whether you're running it or not, it inherently wears down the opposition defense just by their mere presence, by having to constantly be dealing with someone, whether they're being blocked by them, whether they're having to chase them all over the field, covering their ass. And I really feel like that is the secret to the success of that 2019 team was Clyde Edwards-Helaire constantly had blockers, constantly had guys and numbers in faces to clear his way, to clear his path. Whether it was a complete empty, set, he's out wide, he's motioned to Joe Burrow's side in the shotgun, and then Joe Burrow would snap it, hand it off to him, and there's only, you know, 5 offensive linemen and 4 receivers out wide. He gets the ball. There would still be enough blocking support there without even having to have Thad Moss in the game. I feel like you have that with those three. So, the injuries tonight too bother me. The injuries tonight really get to me. Armani Goodwin was just starting to get going. Armani Goodwin was really starting to get going out there. I mean, like, what? He has like 5 touchdowns or something already this season. What has he got right here? Let's see. Yeah, he's got 5 touchdowns this season. 5 touchdowns in 4 games. Only 24 yards tonight, but he still looked good running the ball. And he goes out with it, what looks like another non-contact injury. Another non-contact injury for a Tiger. Coming up hobbling, walked off under his own power, but he looked pissed. He looked shooken up. He looked like he knew what was going down. And you could see the looks of some of the banged up guys, the injured guys on the sideline, and they were not feeling too good for Armani in that moment. Armani Goodwin goes to the locker room, and you know, prayers up for Armani. You know, LSU need him this season. LSU need Armani Goodwin this season. We saw John Emery hurdling a guy, just go jumping over him and stuff, but he failed to really get going once again, and we didn't really even give him the ball. So we didn't really give John an opportunity tonight. We were giving those opportunities to Armani Goodwin, and he was fulfilling the promise. So it sucks to see Armani Goodwin go down, but hopefully John Emery Jr., 9 carries, 45 yards tonight. Hopefully he can come into there, because this is the thing. He was just close to breaking a few of those runs, John Emery Jr. tonight. So close to breaking a few of those runs. And I know we got a lot of yards in garbage time, but a few of those were just so close so close to getting going. Couldn't do it tonight, but it feels like you're just getting closer and closer with John. This is a young man who was basically out for 2 years. Okay. So just getting going here. And now with Armani Goodwin out, which I think I'm going to speculate here, but it looks like he'll be out for at least a few weeks. I would expect with his injury. I would expect it to be at least a few weeks with him on the sideline. I hope I am wrong, but from what I've heard and what I saw, I'm kind of combining the two and thinking, shit, I hope I'm wrong. We've got some comments. What about the offensive PI? That was damn ridiculous. On the Cole Taylor touchdown? Yes. They called that on Malik, I believe, right? AD? I think they called it on Malik. That was ridiculous. I think it was a rub. They called the rub, basically. It was well executed, actually, that play. So I don't understand why in God's name. Like, these refs tonight, like, I hope they get a flat tire and are stuck in the middle of God knows where. Like, I hope they get stuck in, like, West Texas at some, like, abandoned truck stop with, like, they get locked in a porta potty and then it gets tipped over or something. Like, these refs were dog shit tonight. I mean, what the hell are they doing? They wipe off a touchdown from Cole Taylor. They wipe off a touchdown from Jack Besh. Just because they want to be involved in the game. That was too big of a hit by Kobe Fields. Kobe Fields literally shouldered the dude to the ground. It was like a move from like a Martin Short scene in a slapstick comedy from the 90s. Like, it was like Father of the Bride Part 2. This was not some like maniacal, yeah, I'm gonna break your fucking head off, like Ted Nugent coming down off some rope like with a machine gun. Like, this was Kobe Fields just shouldering the dude. The guy was just like, like the guy who basically like dropped his handbag. Like, come on. Tavanka De Silva, hi there. What is up, my man? Tavanka De Silva, our Sri Lankan brother. What is up, my man? You are up at a crazy time, aren't you? Because you are dedicated LSU Tiger, my man. Tavanka De Silva, our Sri Lankan brother. He's been following the site. He's been following our work for a long time. Personal friend. We hope he couldn't get his way to an LSU game so we can meet him. That would be fantastic, man. Thank you for joining us, brother. Thank you so much. And thank you for your dedication to LSU, watching them every week. That's a huge commitment in your part of the world at your time. And some of these times, you don't want to watch the game the day after everyone else has watched it, or hours after everyone's watched it. There's no fun in that. I mean, you can't do that with college football. You can do that with some sports. College football is one of those where you just cannot. You have to watch that game live, just in my opinion. Brian Turner says Jaden Daniels has all the tools to be all SEC, but he must do better decision making. The defense is starting to look like the LSU of old, hopefully. LOL. No, Brian, you're right. Jaden, he has all the tools, but the passing is just, the mechanics are off. You saw where he had Jack Besh wide open. Or no, I think it was Malik. Yeah, sorry, it was Malik. Wide open coming across the middle. I mean, just a little touch pass, lead him like that. Just kind of guide it a little towards, into space, not like at him, into space, where he's going to be. Calculate where he's going to be and pass that bitch. Like it's not that hard. And Jaden Daniels just like, and by that time, it's up here and you can't really catch that thing, or it's over the head. Like, sometimes it drives me absolutely crazy watching him throw the ball, because it's like, God damn it, it's right there. And I know it drives Brian Kelly crazy too. I know it does. And I know Jaden Daniels is our best option to win this season. I understand that. I am all on board that. I don't want to bench Jaden Daniels. I don't want to criticize Jaden Daniels. I don't want to, go at Jaden Daniels, attack Jaden Daniels. I want him to get better. I want him to fulfill the promise of this receiving core that is the number one most talented and deepest receiving core in the country. But there's numbers statistically were only just marginally better than New Mexico's entering this game. New Mexico's leading receiver had 140 yards. Ours had 199. That should never be even close to a comparison when you're talking about LSU, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, DJ Chark, Terrace Marshall, Brandon LaFell, Michael Clayton, Josh Reed, Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on of receivers who have dominated LSU. And you know why they dominated LSU? Because they got the ball. And I understand that there's a lot of these receivers, DJ Chark, who's playing with like Danny Etling at quarterback. But at least Danny Etling would give DJ Chark an opportunity. We saw Jaden Daniels completely caged, where they were just like, you are not running the ball tonight. You are just throwing it. You are just throwing it. You could tell that he was on a very short rushing leash tonight, where they were like, we don't give a good goddamn if your legs are helping us win games. Tonight, you are throwing it. Like, serious. And you could see he got better at it by just being simply forced to do it. I don't know. I don't know though. When you're missing these wide open crossing routes, wide open, just shallow little, just get it to the guy. Like it, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know, gals. I don't know, LSU peoples. It drives me. It drives me nuts sometimes with Jaden Daniels because the extremes are so wild with him. They're so wild. He can take you to this transcendental place, comebacks, making the throws at times. His unbelievable plays with his legs. But then you see these absolutely elementary missed throws. Just bink, right off the right at the guy, right behind the dude, just as he's trying to move into the route, completely missing the guy, completely underthrowing the guy, making him having to fall basically down to catch the ball in the case of Chris Hilton. You're seeing his limited ability as a passer really affecting the team. And we're still 3-1. And basically, in my opinion, should be 4-0 right now. And that's kind of what I saw coming into the season was that LSU would start very strong out of the gate here. We should have beaten Florida State. And that's the thing is I thought we would start out strong, winning these games while not looking that aesthetically pleasing. I expected that. But what I did not expect was Jaden Daniels to not even be able to make really the rudimentary throws. And as I say that, I watched Jaden Daniels take a nice shot to the chin while delivering a bullet to Mason Taylor for a first down. Fantastic play at about the 3-minute mark of the second quarter. Unbelievable play there by Jaden Daniels. That is what we can see from him when he shackles himself in a way. But we don't want Jaden Daniels to shackle himself, do we? So what do we do? Well, Jaden Daniels has to figure out how to extend plays with his feet while keeping his head up. That is it. He has got to find a way how to extend plays to throw the ball, not just to extend the plays with just you're bailing, you're going vertical. Extend the play, get it horizontal, and fly, baby. Let it fly. There we go. That's a beautiful throw to Dre Jenkins right there on third down. That's a snipey type throw. I mean, he John Wicked that thing in there. Like just Jaden Daniels can do it, y'all. Will we see it? Or will we see him throw the ball off of a defender's helmet like we did right there? Like I just said, the extremes of Jaden Daniels are so wild. He makes a great gutty throw to Dre Jenkins. What a throw by Jaden Daniels. It makes a great gutty throw to Mason Taylor. And then just a really wasted shitty just right off a defender's helmet. Like, hell is that, man? Like, can't even get the ball past the first line of defense. Like, so there's going to be things to criticize. Well, as Jaden Daniels figures it out, but really, I'm going to point him out because that's my job. That's what I see. But at the same time, I'm not really going to be too personally affected by these things. They are what they are. He will either improve or not. But as long as LSU wins games, that's really all that I care about in the end. and that's all that you should care about in the end as an LSU fan. But then again, there are guys that we're supporting, people that maybe we know, players that maybe we know, things like that, that we want those guys to get theirs. We want them to get their stats. We want them to get their big plays. And maybe that looks selfish. Maybe it's selfish of Jaden Daniels to run every play. But is it selfish to want to win? I mean, there's just so many random variables here, but it's like as long as it gets LSU yards, as long as LSU are going forward, as long as LSU are winning games, it shouldn't bother you as much as it does. But then again, seeing a receiving core this talented go to waste is very hard to stomach. Very hard to stomach. No 100-yard rusher for the fourth straight game. Or sorry, no four. Yeah, actually, no 100-yard rusher or 100-yard receiver for the fourth straight game. Yeah, both. Jaden Daniels rushed for over 100 yards, but no running back has been able to rush for over 100 yards this season, and no receiver has been able to catch over 100 yards this season. Yes, the offense looked good. They kind of exploded, I guess you could say, in the second half, but I won't use that term. They managed the game at times, held on at others early in the game, missed opportunities at varying points. But then, you saw us put the foot on the gas at the end of this game and really be able to wear down the Lobos and actually get some really nice touchdowns on the board. And I like to see that the receiving core is what we were all talking about all week, hoping all week. This is such a game to get them going. This is going to be the moment. Jaden Daniels figures it out with his receivers. And then first, Kayshon Boutte is going to be gone because of the pregnancy of and birth of his child. And then, you actually see that it's the running backs who get all the touchdowns, most of the yards, production, or at least the highlight production, and really are the unit that stood out tonight was the running backs. I know we put up over 400 yards through the air and only just over 200 on the ground in comparison. Point is, the rushing attack were the controller of the game tonight. That's what was in charge, and the decider. I'm the decider. The decider for LSU tonight was the rushing game. That was the finisher, too. The finisher. The fixer. God, this water bottle just sounded like a seal or something. Like some type of otter. Phil Tittle says the problem is that Jaden Daniels is by far the best running quarterback that LSU has had, but the worst at finding receivers and hitting them in stride. Nuss showed how to do it. Yeah. Then again, Garrett Nussmeier has shown some really poor decision making, throwing the ball, throwing interceptions. But thank you, Phil, for bringing up Nussmeier, because this is something I wanted to bring up, someone I want to talk about. Garrett totally reversed his performance that we saw against Southern. Tonight we saw night and day from that Southern performance. We saw him put up a touchdown, no turnovers. Last week, a few weeks ago, we saw the 2 turnovers that were just horrible. Him spinning to the ground and just throwing it up. Him going like, hey, like he's in the backyard. Hey, go long. And just throwing it to the corner, getting the pick. Tonight, you saw him confident, assured, and just basically delivering strikes all over the place. Just like bam, bam, chicka bam, chicka bam, bam, bam. It was nice. It was nice to see him, more confident, more assured. I didn't like that that the play calling was far more conservative with him. Just let loose. Let him just throw the ball. We got to get a receiving core some type of confidence. And yes, Jack Besh is going to feel a lot better about his role in the team after tonight. Malik Neighbors is still going to have his confidence going after those two fumbles in week one. He just creating more distance from those mistakes, those errors. That there's really been an amazing response from Malik when it comes to what could have happened, what could have been his response. He's really turned that page on that very quickly, and proved to everybody that he's going to be that deciding factor for us in the receiving core. Sucks we couldn't get Kayshawn out there for a few touchdowns tonight. They were there to be had, but New Mexico played us well on defense for that first half. They really did. And really the whole game handed to New Mexico's defensive front. I mean, we should have run it for like 400 on this team. They frustrated us. They hung on to us. It was tough sledding tonight for this LSU team against New Mexico. This wasn't a cakewalk for 4 quarters. New Mexico made us work for this. That's why I think it'll feel good for the team. But like, they made us work for this shutout. They beat us up. We had some injuries. I heard something about Harold Perkins being hurt. Did I miss something? Did I miss a play? I don't think I missed a play. But someone was saying something about Harold Perkins being hurt. I'm not sure about that, but maybe I just didn't see something. But Harold Perkins, 8 tackles, 3 solo. I mean, but an absolute freak out there. What an absolute freak. Well, 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 well. So this was an interesting game. This is an interesting game. I'm not sure what it will do to help us with against Auburn. Auburn pulled out a very big win for them this day. This day. On this day, indeed, they pulled off a very big 17-14 win that will do some good for Auburn going into the game against us. We really wish they would have choked again, and then you got Brian Harsin being removed. But in a way, isn't it great that Brian Harsin is still in charge in time for this game this next week against LSU? Because I want Harsin to continue coaching Auburn for eternity. I hope Auburn sign Harsin to a 100-year contract. I mean, I'm about to wear a shirt that says "Keep Harsin" and just wear it for this entire week. Keep Harsin. Everybody, if you really hate Auburn, you've got to start trending this hashtag, okay? Keep Harsin. Okay? Gotta keep Harsin in charge at Auburn. It's that simple. Because a toxic, insane, mortally wounded, always pissed off, always intimidated, tail between their legs Auburn is what we have to have as LSU fans. I'm not sure if this was a Auburn dress rehearsal or what have you like that. But if it was, there were things I liked that I saw, things that I don't like. One thing, this defense is unbelievable. This defense just goes from strength to strength. I don't know how you can say that this defense is not the strength of this team right now. I'm just gonna say it. This defense is easily the strength of this team. Easily. Easily. Okay? Matt House is winning us games out there. Matt House is just looking. I mean, someone said the other night, "How long can we even keep on to keep on to keep?" Sorry, how long can we even keep House on the staff? And I was like, "Damn it, damn it." That's a great point. That's a great point. Shit, we'll probably only be here for 2 years. Damn it. We have to keep House as long as we can because I don't know about you, but as long as we have that guy coaching our defense, we can win any game. Any game we play, we have a chance to win because of that guy on defense. Because we have shown a propensity to turn the ball over, give, you know, easy field position to the opposition. And no matter what has happened or what's going against this defense, they have absolutely made plays with their backs against the wall and shut that door. They've been nothing short of incredible while dealing with injuries to, Mason Smith, B.J. Ojolari, Ollie Gay was suspended. Jay Ward is banged up as well. It's you saw basically a second string defense in places tonight, in major places tonight, that registered a shutout for LSU. Do you know how hard it is to shut out any team in modern day college football? It is damn near impossible to get a shutout in modern, like a field goal, even to not allow a single damn field goal. They couldn't even get to the 35, to the 30-yard line, to the 25, to the 20-yard. They had 2 first downs all game, 88 fucking yards. Matt House's defense is awesome. They are what I look most forward to watching this team. This offense brings me pain at times because I can see what's possible. We can all see it, but it's like the carrot's dangling and then it's just pulled away. Okay? Carrot's dangling on a string and then just pulled away. Defensively, it has been nothing but a masterpiece. It is straight something out of the Criterion collection. I mean, release these games defensively, these highlights, and just put them out as Criterion Collection special edition DVDs because they are cinematic brilliance of how to run SEC defense. I mean, I that Mississippi State game was incredible. Tonight, even better. I understand the opposition was not as good, as Mississippi State. I understand. 88 total yards. Absolutely strangling New Mexico. Absolutely destroying and defacing them. I don't know about you, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to watch that defense tonight, just like last week. And then, hey, everyone wants to rip on the Florida State performance. Defensively, the defense kept us in that game against Florida State. Without the defense, we don't even come close. We're not even in that in any way, shape, or form in the fourth quarter. Florida State should have been up by 3 touchdowns at that point. Because of that defense, we were able to be in the position we were in to win that game at the last second with the 2-point conversion that we should have gone for. Definitely like and share this, guys. I never asked that. I never asked that of you. I never say that, but I'm going to. Please like and share. Please like and share because we need to get the traction, baby. We need to get the traction. Sorry, I am trying to get right now an LSU Tiger to come on this show. They want to, but they're a little nervous. Okay. We're going to send out our invites, see what happens. Stuttering John, dude, are you drunk? Stuttering John, not judging. I'm drunk every day. No, actually, no. No, no, no. I'm not drunk. But yeah, I booze for me. I still drink every now and then, but I just doesn't really make me feel that good. Like I still feel good getting drunk and stuff like that, but like the alcohol content, the sugar content, stuff like that. Like my body can't handle soda anymore. It can't handle sugary drinks anymore, like really intensely sugary drinks. And so alcohol is like poison almost for me at times because it's just so sugary, so full of sugar. So yeah, you know. But I'm still having my fun though. I'm still having a good time though, and it's been a hell of a good time watching this game. I hope our money Goodwin's fine. I hope he's okay. I hope we can get Jay Ward and be Joe Jolari back at 100% in time for the Auburn game. That's why they were held out, obviously, for this game. Jay Ward was basically dressed like, I want to play. Put me out there, damn it. I mean, Jay Ward's a dude who played on a torn meniscus in 2020 and was pressuring KJ Costello into the sideline, smashing his ass. Like, this is a dude who never freaking stops. He just he's clocked the miles. And so it was good to give him, just like last year where he had to sit out a few games because of the concussion. It's good to give someone like that a few or at least just one game off because you're going to need him so badly at the end of this season. You're going to need Jay Ward to be everywhere for you this season. We're going to need Jay Ward to be making 7, 8+ tackles every game if we're going to want to remain competitive. And, that's why it was great to see guys like Greg Brooks Jr. continue to just excel every game. Greg Brooks Jr. was the defensive MVP for us tonight. Some will scoff at that or what. I don't care. I watched the game. I watched the film. I just watched the whole game again while I'm talking to you. Fast forward a little bit through all the commercials and all the riffraff, but what we saw tonight from Greg Brooks Jr. was hell-bent for leather, heat-seeking missile, untamed, untarnished, unblemished, hyper sexual defense. Okay. This was brilliant. This was extravagant. This was epic. He was everywhere tonight. He was blowing up everything. He'd come and attack everybody at the line of scrimmage, send them wide. His statistical line is not going to impress you. Like 4 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass breakup. But the dude was a fraction from just a fraction of having that ball on his hands and being gone for a pick 6. And then basically created 3 tackles for loss tonight. So basically, 3 tackles for loss, or technically, since he had 1 on the game, you could say 4 tackles for loss, 4 tackles, and he almost had a pick 6. So he's just blowing things up. He was just everywhere. He was just really commanding tonight for the defense, in my opinion. Harold Perkins, you could also say, deserves to be right there because he was fantastic. He was playing with authority, playing with intensity, playing with charisma. He is no doubt going to be, forget it, is already a bona fide superstar. I know that sounds insane or whatever to you, but like this dude is already that dude. He's already that good. I mean, I can't get over how good he is, how much he's flying around to the ball, how fast he is, how much he finishes the plays. There's no when Harold Perkins engages a ball carrier, there's no like half tackles with him. He gets the dude to the ground. I mean, of course there's assisted tackles and stuff like that. I'm just saying that like I don't see him failing to wrap up or failing to get the dude to the ground. He's just so technically sound and such an abrasive athletic freak. I just we are going to have a lot of fun watching him for the next 3 years, okay? A lot of fun. And isn't it just amazing that we get basically 3 full seasons to watch Harold Perkins, Will Campbell, Emory Jones, Mason Taylor, and then, even Jack Besh, Malik Neighbors. Who else am I thinking of here? But even just right there, we're basically gonna have 3 straight years, 3 full years of those players, which is rare at LSU. It seems like we got like a year and a half, and then you're off to the NFL. Like you were there for 3 years, but you were basically only played for a year and a half, and then you were gone. We're going to get guys who, from this era with Kelly, Jack Besh played a lot his first season, led the team in receptions, should have played a lot more too. There was a lot of like UCLA. He only had 1 catch in that game and was out for the rest of the game. They put him on the sidelines. There a lot of receptions left out there. Malik Neighbors only played 7 games as a freshman, and he was an All SEC pick, and I believe was a 400-yard receiver and 4 touchdowns. So seeing full seasons from those guys, seeing 3 full seasons from Will Campbell, Emory Jones on the offensive line, that is That is extremely tantalizing. 3 full seasons of Harold Perkins flying around like a maniac. That sounds like fun to me. That sounds like a lot of fun. LSU shut out New Mexico 38-0. First shutout since 2019 versus Southeastern Louisiana. And New Mexico is a far better opponent than Southeastern Louisiana. And LSU absolutely defaced, destroyed, and disgraced New Mexico tonight. Everybody, thank you for joining us. We're going to be doing this for pretty much every game this season. So join us, LSUOdyssey.com. We've got it simulcasting from there. We've got it simulcasting from YouTube. So we've got it on the Voice of College Football channels, which you should definitely subscribe to. But definitely go check out LSUOdyssey.com, which is where all of this is going to be covered, where it's all going to be detailed, analyzed in extreme fashion. We're really going to be diving deep into everything. We're going to give you, we give it all to you. We give you kind of the stuff that's kind of more to the point, concise, and then we give you the stuff that's more deep and detailed and more in depth. So we like to kind of give our subscribers things that are kind of all over the place. You don't know if it's going to be footage, a video, an interview, if it's going to be behind the scenes, in-depth investigation piece, a simple profile on the player with stats and behind the scenes, how they individually succeeded. You don't know what you're going to get at LSUOdyssey.com except one thing. You are guaranteed grade A LSU content every single damn day. And that's what we've been providing now since 2020 when we got the site up. But we've been writing this content, generating this content, covering LSU since 2018. Everybody, it's 2022. The Brian Kelly era, 3-1. Going into Auburn now. Going to take on Brian Harsin's Auburn Tigers, who came out with a 17-14 win. Can Jaden Daniels pass against Auburn, get us through that game? Will LSU struggle at Auburn? It's going to be a very interesting week. Keep your eyes trained on the team because I'm hearing there's going to be some interesting team news this week that will surprise a lot of LSU fans. That's something I just heard just right after the game, got here on the phone. LSU are going to make at least one big change to personnel that will really surprise and intrigue a lot of LSU fans. And it might help impact the team, just like, moving Jay Ward from safety to nickel and Greg Brooks Jr. from nickel to safety boosted the team big time. This is what they're going to try and do with this position switch. That is what I can reveal right now. We're going to be revealing a lot more on LSUOdyssey.com in the next day or two. Take it easy, everybody. Check all of our content out because we're going to be pouring it down for you. And it's happy hour always at LSUOdyssey.com when you're coming in here for LSU Fix. Take it easy, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Devanka De Silva, my man, thank you for coming. Join us from Sri Lanka. A Diesel, my main man, thank you for joining us from Gretna. Jamer. Thank you for listening to my maniacally insane ranting all the way from Lake Charles, the big LC. And everybody, thank you whether you're from the boot, whether you're from Wyoming, like Robert Wales, or you're from California, wherever. Thank you very much for tuning in. LSU with the shutout, 38-0, 600 yards of offense for the first time since 2019, first defensive shutout since 2018. Really poured on the ground. Jaden Daniels was effective in the end, but still could not throw a touchdown, still could not get over that barrier, still could not really prove himself as a passer. A few worrying injuries, but once again, LSU have one of the best defensive units in the SEC, if not college football, with Matt House. Just undamn believable. Undamn and believable. This defense. Screw it, I'm going to say it. Unfucking believable, this defense. This defense is outrageous. Outrageous. And that's really the story of the game. Thank you, everybody.